Shalom Ubracha. Welcome back to this week's installation of a Biselleh Torah. There's a double parsha that we're reading this week, Mattot, Masei, and it's the second parsha that I want to focus on with you now that we're together for a few moments. But begin with a statement by Rabbi Nachman, which may be familiar to you, Kol ha'olam kulo geshet sar me'od, that this world is a narrow bridge. The narrow bridge is not simply this world, I think, was the import of Rabbi Nachman's statement, but rather our life is a narrow bridge. It sometimes can be terrifying. Looking over to the edge on the right or the left and seeing the chasm that exists beneath us can instill great fear in us. And life is treacherous, and life sometimes is extraordinarily dangerous and fearful. But Rabbi Nachman warns us, it's your life. Don't be afraid. Continue to cross the narrow bridge. Now, how this blends with our parsha this week is that the Israelite nation, having left Egypt, makes a series of journeys throughout the 40-year wandering through the wilderness in many different places. They stop, for example, in the first place called Ramses. They camp there, and then they pick up all of their belongings, and they make camp again in another place called Sukkot. And the Torah is quite deliberate about all of the places that they camped, and then they got up, they put the things together, and they camped in another place. Now, the Torah could have been much more concise and compact by saying they went from point A to point B. It didn't have to say they camped here, they got up, and they went to another place. Rabbi Abraham Twersky notes this and says, this matters, and there is a key element that we need to learn something about our lives from these series of statements. That life is not meant to be lived in the quick lane, just frantically taking everything that comes to us and trying to gauge our life by how well we can swim in the tides that we believe are trying to sweep us out, which is against totally what Rabbi Nachman is trying to tell us to do. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the undertow. You're out there in the water, swim. You're out there on the bridge of life, cross it. But there's something more important than simply crossing the bridge and not being afraid. It's also taking account of where you are, knowing that at each step that we make across this bridge of life that we all do cross, that we need to take account of where we are, where we've been, look behind us, and see the steps that we've taken. How have we grown and how have we learned from the places that we've been in? And such it is with the Torah reading today. The Israelite nation camped. They learned from the experience of that camp. Then they packed up all of their things and moved to the next place. It was a growth, a life of growth from one place to another, mirroring the same life that we lead today. There's so much information being thrown to us all the time, 24/7, and sometimes it comes at such a dizzying speed that we can't take account of where we've been and allow ourselves the luxury of synthesizing where we've traveled, what we've learned along the road or the bridge of life, and then becoming larger, growing from each experience, more expansive in character than we've been before. And this is the message of the Torah today that I think I want all of us to take away. Use every moment to think, to consider, where have we gone? What have we learned this day? What will we learn from our experiences of the past? When we take a moment to breathe and look at the footsteps that we've traveled across this narrow bridge that we've traversed, how have we grown? And if we've not learned from the experiences that we have undergone, maybe it's time to sit down, take a hefty breath, and then ask, what was the message that God wanted me to take away from this?